What's going on, guys? MTGT Dirt Farmer here. That's me right there. Gave you a little wave. We're going to be doing a little commentary over the pivot video here from earlier this week. So the first shot, you'll notice we have a diesel engine and then fuel tank and stuff all right there at the pivot center, and so that would be called the pivot center right there, where everything moves off of. And then as we start heading out here, you can see all the green there is our winter wheat, and so winter wheat is planted in the fall, and all the dirt is actually canola, and that was seeded about 2 weeks prior to this video being shot. And I am going to do a video on the pivots a little bit more in depth when I'm on the ground, and I'll talk you through all that stuff. But anyways, so this pivot is a half-mile long, and it's a lot of towers. I forget, what is it, 17 towers I think is what it is total. So you gotta just make sure everything's kind of in line, no flat tires or anything like that, and no leaks like I found in the video a little bit at the end. But yep, so we got the winter wheat on that half, canola on the other half. And if you're wondering why there's straight lines in the canola field, which is the dirt on the left side, and then there's some other lines that are kind of going diagonal through it, that would be from when we actually worked the ground before we seeded it. So before we seeded, we worked all the ground down just to get rid of all the weeds and everything in it, and then we seeded into it, and it actually helps make it a little bit smoother for when you're seeding into it and stuff, so it's not as clumpy and rough and everything. And we don't mind working that ground because we do have water on it, so we try not to work all our other dry land stuff that doesn't have pivots on it. And you can see the end gun blowing into the neighbor's field over there, so that other field that's dirt is actually not ours, but our neighbors like having a little bit of some free water, so they don't mind if the end gun's on. And yeah, you can see it makes a pretty big pool there too, but it soaked it in pretty quick. So actually in this video we were putting an inch of water down. So how you determine how much water you're putting down is actually the speed of the tower. So the whole pivot only puts down a certain amount of water, but you can control how much that is by either slowing or speeding up the entire pivot itself. And then I think when we were cruising this way, we were gonna find the leak on the pivot next. And so how we separate the pivot fields too is we do quarters. So quarter of a circle, you can see there's a line there, and then you can see up along the pivot center there's kind of that yellow field. That's the other edge of it. So 1/4 of the pivot is 125 acres roughly, so it's pretty good. So we have 125 acres of winter wheat, 125 acres of canola, and then the other far corner that's behind the canola there, all that we just went away from, that's chickpeas. And you'll see me seeding that in another video coming up. Again, we had to reseed all that stuff actually, so I say it's a lot of acres for one machine. And this is not our only pivot too. We also have another pivot right next to this one. You could probably kind of tell from earlier in this video. Anyways, here we are zooming in. This is also my second time ever flying a drone, so it was pretty nerve-wracking to say the least. But it worked out pretty good, I think. Definitely not a professional by any means, but it was pretty fun. So, like I said, yeah, not my drone either, just borrowing it for the time. Hoping to get one so I can use it a little more for some of our other farming videos. And you can see we're kind of getting a little bit closer to that leak there. But yeah, it's pretty tough to see there, but there's one drive motor in the middle of each of those towers, and it drives both sets of wheels on each tower there too. But yeah, we'll show that off a little more in another video. So there is our leak, and we think we got it fixed today actually, when I'm recording this voiceover. But we will find out probably tomorrow when we switch pivots and turn this one back on. So currently our other pivot's actually watering right now as we speak, and this one is off. Anyways, we'll kind of zoom in there and we'll get a little shot of the leak. So what we think happened, once we get a little closer, is that the bolts on that were actually loose, and then that's on the leak on the right side. On the left side leak, not 100% sure where that guy's actually coming from. So when we turn it on, we're gonna kind of keep an eye on it, just sort of see where he is there. There we go, there's a little zoom in. Very good. Oh, maybe not. I can't remember. No, it comes up here eventually sometime. So let's see, we can chat about, not 100% sure. Honestly, I'm kind of just throwing this together. Actually, I'll have a little shout out here. A good friend of the channel, Southpaw. He agreed there should be some commentary on this, so I figured I'd do it, and pretty much just for him, because he's always asking a bunch of questions and stuff. Very good friend of the channel, like I said. Really appreciate when people ask questions, so keep it up, Southpaw. This video's pretty much for you. So anyways, yep, you can see the leak there on that right side. There's some bolts there. We just kind of tightened those up, but that one on the left side is kind of a mystery at the moment, and we're not 100% sure where that one's at, so we'll have to kind of see on that. You could kind of see the pivot rolling there a little bit too, but then I zoom out here. Like I said, we'll do a better video coming up as well, but this one's just kind of a slap together little bit of commentary, chat about some farming stuff. And yeah, that's about the end of it. Thanks for watching, guys.